What is up, guys? Welcome to HO Power Train, and I am David. And tonight we're going to be doing a kind of like a podcast thing that we've been doing before in the past. We did last week. We have talking about model railroading, right? Um, so the topic is heart and soul of model railroading. That's going to be leaning to as in a manner of why we do model railroading, um, especially to have fun, relax the mind from a hard day's work, and a sense of accomplishment of doing things and not just for a gain or clout or anything. We don't do that over here. We do our videos in sequence to enjoy model railroading and enjoy what we're doing and passing the knowledge along to other people if we can, to beginners and whatnot. So that's the topic tonight. Getting deeper into the difference of prototypical, how you want to do your model railroad, how you don't have to do it, why it's, I wouldn't say that it's dying. It's not dying, it's picking up, but it is a small niche to that manner, right? So when we're talking about all those things, and before we go any further, let's make sure that I got sound, right? So I hope you guys had a good day and everybody's doing well from the week so far. And it's Thursday, right? So with that said, let's make sure we're good. Good. All right. So hopefully my camera for the training holds up. Okay, so we're not going to wait for nobody to come. It's whoever comes in here, thank y'all so much. Hey, Tommy, how y'all doing? And people watching the playback, thank y'all in advance. And we get on with the topic, and what do you guys could chime in, and that's what this is about also. You chiming in and giving your thoughts, okay? So my journey in model railroading, I've always liked model railroading, correct? I grew up with it. A lot of people has grown up with it. Their father taught them how to do it, bought them a train when they was young, and you kind of carry it on through life, and you build a layout, you tear it down, because I guess whenever you're a kid, you just, you like trains, you want to see it go round and round, right? And I think that's a lot of nostalgia that's with it, and you carry it on into your adult life. But as you keep doing it, you keep advancing, at least in my case, and you want to make it more realistic, more fulfilling, success fulfilling, such as a sense of accomplishment of building your scenes, building kits, way more than you would have when you was younger. Because let's face it, when you was younger, we didn't have a lot of stuff, right? Hello, Tommy. How you doing? Back then, they didn't have the technology they have today, such as DCC. In fact, I have a DCC big boy sitting right here. All of it was DC, and let me tell you, DC has panned out to prove itself time and time again. DCC, if you're new getting into model railroading, I'm telling you now, you never had a locomotive or whatnot, but you're just trying to get into this grade of element of model railroading. DCC is going to frustrate you, okay, if you're a beginner. Now, if you've done DCC before, I can imagine that you'll understand what you're looking into, but if you're a beginner starting in DCC, you're going to have some frustration. Trust me, I know. I had that in N scale when I started, right? So what comes with DCC is the finicky of it because of the power that works in DCC, okay? It's not generic power such as DC. DC, you got straight 12 volts to your locomotive, and it just works, right? This is on a wavelength. It sends a signal to a decoder in this tender here. And if your track is not very clean, she will get some trouble. Promise you, she's going to spit, sputter, and she's just going to get trouble. So beginners, keep that in mind. If you want to do model railroading, don't frustrate yourself straight out the box with DCC. I would go DC and see how you like it and go from there. Walters is a good start also. Okay. Um, People's going to have arguments on that and say, oh no, just jump into DCC and you'd be okay. Trust me, I wouldn't just jump into DCC. One, you're going to be spending a lot of money. If you don't understand it, you don't see what I'm talking about here, or other people talking about the finicky of it, you're going to frustrate yourself a lot. Okay, so DC, I would highly recommend jumping into first. Okay. Um, Another level that I play on is the more realism level, right? I've done did the G scales when I was a kid, the O scales when I was a kid. I've done did all that. But again, as you get older, you want more fulfillment out of it. As for me, and learning to do better techniques. Okay. Did you get it? I ordered it, Tommy, but it didn't come in yet. Very great people to talk to over at BLI. Very quick, simple, to the cut to the chase, and got this stuff coming on its way. Um, yeah, there's so many things in the heart and soul of model railroading that, again, it's just not for. And the social networking nowadays with YouTube paying out people, YouTube giving money, and there's nothing wrong with it, but uh, it's seems like there's a lot of gain to being model railroading than just showing what's going on. You know what I mean? At least that's what I see now. Social media is spread all over the place, and people's going to do what they're going to do. But as of here at HO Powertrain, it's knowledge. Okay, might get a little boring sometimes, but hey, it is what it is. um, in scale and HO scale is going to be uh, your most prominent scales to play in, because it's on the cheaper side of things. You can get HO scale pretty easily. In scale, you can get very easily also. Once you start stepping into the bigger locomotives, O scale, G scale, harder to find, you'd be paying more money, right? And that goes with anything. Of course, train shows, flea markets can beat that topic, right? Uh, of course, when you're beginners, when you're doing your model railroad, uh, do what comes to your mind, right? Do whatever comes to your mind. Don't worry about how people's going to judge you on what you're doing. You're your own creationness of your own person. Do what the hell you got to do, right? There's always going to be that person that's not going to like what you're doing. They're going to beat you up in the comments. Just shrug that shit off and keep going, bro. Um, a lot of people say there's not a lot of young kids getting into model railroading. I can see that on the cost side of things. It costs so much money, and that could be one aspect. Another aspect, younger kids are probably seeing it as kind of like a one-way street deal, where they see all these guys that has these extravagant looking model railroads, mountains, and looks realistic and whatnot, and they probably bring themselves to that scale of things. I'm assuming that, right? They may bring themselves to that scale of things and think that that's what model railroading is about, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's what fulfills your nostalgia and how you like trains, locomotives, or whatever hobby you're doing, and how you can relate with your own hobby is what's most important. Hey Tom, I'm doing okay. How you doing? So guys, don't look at the other giants that's showing you that you got to put a grain of ballast in your track a certain way, and you have to put a little strand of weed a certain way. That's not what this is about, okay? Again, it's about what's inside you and how you're relating to your model railroad. If you're looking for a game and wanting things and wanting money from it. You're in the wrong hobby. Uh, you're shooting yourself in the foot because that you cannot sustain that. You got to do it out your heart. What's in here? Um, People say, "Yeah, but I'll go to YouTube to make money." Well, you're on the wrong platform, right? Unless you're cheating, manipulating, lying, stealing, and doing what you got to do to get money, that's going to be prominent to you. But that shit will show real quick. Hey, just leaving work? Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a bad day also. Whew, man, a long day. I mean, not bad day. A long day. Had a good day today. Uh, what's some other stuff that can stall beginners? Yeah, like the standard of model railroading. They beginners might see it a certain way, but it's not. Model railroading is a small niche. Like I talked about this before, compared to RCs and other things. It's a smaller niche, and the majority of your audience or people that are in it is elderly people. Okay, I'm one of the younger guys, and I'm hip in my model railroading phase, the way I do stuff, and it's a little different to the older people, but it's okay. We do what we got to do. A little vodka and orange juice, Tom. Just a little relaxing day, bro. Um, do you have any questions on track work, scenery work? Let me know in the comments, or when the stream stops, just go in the comments and let me know. I'll do my best to answer it. I am human, so I don't see everything, and I try to reply, but it's a lot out there, right? uh, Another thing is, oh, hold on, let's see. You have another hour. Yeah, it's in the heart, Luna. Yeah, that's what it's about, man. It's got to be in the heart. Everybody wants to struggle and try to get a gain for something, try to grab something so far reached. But again, if beginners are getting in that for that notion, you're chasing a ball that's going to constantly evade you. So do look at it. Beginners look at it in that concept of how you're enjoying it, right? And what you can create. And that's where you're going to get your satisfaction from model railroading. I'm running cheap Walther DC locomotives right now compared to these DCC engines. I'll tell you, I'm done with DCC for a while, bro. Like you won't see me buying a DCC locomotive. DC it just works. I'm tired of DCC uh, sputtering. Um, you're not getting your full voltage out of your decoder. I'm just done with DCC for a while. Yes, patience. Good point, Luna. Absolutely, patience is key. Yep. Thank you for that because that was something I wasn't going to mention. That you're right. That patience. And again, not to discourage no one on DCC, but I'm done with DCC, man. I'll use it in my yards, like I've always talked about. But seeing DC compared to DCC, it's two different worlds. You're gonna say, "Well, David, DCC is this and that," and it's like, how are you running your DCC engines? Well, I'm running on a 4x8. Nothing wrong with that, but it's different than the way I'm running over here. It's night and day. It's you can't compare a layout that size to what I'm running. DCC just does not comply like a DC locomotive. You know, so I'm kind of done with that over here, and yeah. what can I say, right? Now you'll see me run them like in a yard, making a shore, or just having fun with them to hear the sounds. I love stuff like that. But as far as being a primary go-to, not doing it. Oh, if you're running DCC locomotives, make sure everything is off your track. Make sure that you have isolated rail yards, isolated from your main stuff, and they're off if you have locomotives sitting on them. Make sure that you have your DC off because you'll burn these decoders like that. But yeah, DCC is a lot of work. For me, it's just too finicky. I'm enjoying the train. I'm like, then all of a sudden, a little dirty track, it falls off the face of the earth. So I'm done with DCC for a minute. In that aspect of running them on around. Um, don't get discouraged, guys. If you're trying, you say, damn it, screw it. I want to make my layout realistic. And you never done realistic scenery, right? And you start doing it, and it's not coming out the way you want it to come out, because a lot of times that'll happen. You can redo it or sleep on it. Sleep on it. Sleep on the scenery. Take a picture of it. Sleep on it. Get away from it, and come back to it the next day. Because this thing here can combobble you into messing up your scenery. Okay. So just because it doesn't look good to you, it might look good overall in a picture. You know. So yeah, take a picture of it. Get away from it. I've learned that with that layout in the back. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it can be tough. Yeah, especially if you're running. I love NCE, but to me, NCE, I think that I would like to know. I know NCE only puts out like 13.5 volts, but I'd like to know if they have a higher voltage NCE setup. I don't know. So I think they do, but it seems like NCE is a little underpowered. Yeah, I love the setup compared to Digitrax though. For me, um, I've been throwing. Shh, don't say nothing. I've been throwing 16 volts to that DCC to the NCE. 16 volts. I would not recommend that from nobody to nobody, but I've been putting it to 16 volts, and it seems like they run a little better. No, that's not why I'm burning decoders up either. I know you're thinking it. uh, it sucks that I burnt this one up. That's $100 lesson right here. $100, bro. Damn. So I want to go into more detail in this, but I want to keep topic of what we're talking about. So yeah, there's a lot that goes with model railroading, and again, if you're doing it out your heart, there's no you can't go wrong. Definitely doing it for yourself and to help others. The techniques. I mean, that's what the whole channel is based on: techniques, knowledge, and everything we've been doing, and showing somebody else. And it has helped a lot of people. And I'm grateful and happy that it has touched a lot of people in that manner. You also get haters, but it's okay. That goes with it. And you just keep doing it out of your inner being, right? I mean, there's nothing like getting a new locomotive. I would like to get a new locomotive, but I have enough. Like, that's not, for me, having 100 locomotives does not fulfill anything for me, right? it's like, oh wow. I mean, look, I got a wall of Hot Wheel cars. It's like, oh wow, I got another one. But it's how you are getting your fulfillment out of it, you know. And that Walters, I don't know if you can see, but that Walters is just runs, bro. It's coming around the city. I think so, Luna. I think so. You can. That's that cleaning car. That little cleaning car I built with the wood. That just shows you don't need to spend a lot of money on a cleaning car. You know, that's another way to save money. And they say, well, it doesn't pick up, which I believe in that. When you clean your rails, you ought to be able to pick up the gunk also, which I'm going to work on that car and I'm going to show you a concept of that. So, but as far as the wood running like that, the cheapest you can get. It works. You're saving money. Uh, Overall, at the end of the day, people don't have to be whipped with having the loss of money, you know, because things are expensive. There are bigger things in this world. People saying that are going, you know, that needs to get better than model railroading, right? But model railroading, it's growing, but it's a I think people has their, I don't know, I don't know how to say it. Like beginners might have their thoughts differently with it, you know. My opinion. That's the way I see it, you know. Because I came in here as not a beginner, but as a, you know, I'm kind of new to it, and from what I got from the comments and everybody and videos and everybody telling me this and that, I felt that uh people were saying I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You know, I was learning a lot with the DCC stuff also, and you know, you get mixed comments with that. What is your opinion on dead rail locomotives? I like it. I've done dead rail before. I have an old video where I built an RC HO scale locomotive. I gave that locomotive to a little guy a while back. I like dead rail. Del rail was you can't go wrong. It's basically DC. You know, I don't know about the DCC stuff. Uh, but yeah, I like dead rail. Absolutely. You can put a lipo battery into a tender at 7.4 volts, let's say. It's going to run one specific speed, which I've done before, remote control, or with a toggle, just let it go. That thing runs a long time. So yeah, I'm for dead rail. Absolutely. Uh, it goes back to the the thing. Um, DC concept works in my opinion. It just, if your track is all sorted up good, you got your your feeders where they need to be. DC is proven. DCC, I think, in my opinion, they need more. I don't know. They might need more technology with it. I don't know. I'm just saying. Take Athearn for instance. Athearn Tsunami 2 does not put keep alive in our locomotives. You're paying $320 for a locomotive, no keep alive in them. Now, Athearn is competing with BLI, scale trains, and you're like, why can't they put a keep alive in an Athearn versus, you know, ESU? Well, it's ESU basically. You know, ESU is eating their lunch in that aspect, but Athearn is still keeping those high prices. And it's like, no, put a keep alive in your stuff, man. So DCC has to come a little bit further for me to to be bought on them again. Um, yeah, so I bought some Athearn Keep Alive for Tsunami 2, and it feels like I'm yelling because I don't know if y'all can hear me. Hold on. So, for instance, this is a Keep Alive that goes in an Athearn. You can't put these things in an Athearn; they don't fit. So it's like, why the hell make them? Oh, you got to mill out your chassis. I don't feel like milling out my chassis, bro. So there you have it. What's another thing, guys? Yeah, Luna said a big thing with patience. Patience is going to be a big, big thing with that. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the chat. What are y'all feeling? Such as model railroading. What do y'all see? Let me know. It's okay. Your opinion matters here. And like I said, see that flag flying up. We freedom of speech. So there you go. I'm worried I burned up my decoder as well. I did not know you should not be allowing you see it. Yeah, Smith. Yeah, it's relatively easy. I'll show you here. I mean, here you got some screws in here. It's not many screws, but screws in here. Take this apart, and for me, my decoder sits right in here. Good thing about BLI, these decoders will interchange with a diesel decoder. Okay, they will interchange. So it's not hard to replace, but I'm tired of one little short. You leave something on the track, you forget to disconnect your DC, you will burn up a DC. You will burn up a decoder. I've done did it many times. Versus DC, right? DC, all you have is a motor in DC. So you're picking up power to your wheels, and it's transmitting the power from the wheels directly into the motor. And you're very seldomly going to burn up a newer DC motor versus a decoder. And they say, oh, you can get interchangeable decoders. You can get the cheap ones for around $30, but it's not the same. A good decoder for any EMD or larger locomotive, you're going to pay out the ass. They're expensive. So that's where I'm at with model railroading. It's a place to hang my hat, so to speak. Love doing it. Love seeing the success of making a scene come alive. At least the best that I can do. And everybody got a skill set of doing what the hell they want to do. And we have fun with it. Yeah, yeah. And this locomotive was like $800 for this locomotive, and I'll eat the decoder because it was my fault. Fine, and I move on. The biggest thing that I'm having now is, well, let me rewind. I've always had this problem. The wheels stall. So I don't know if it's a motor problem or if it's designed in the decoder like that. I don't think it's designed in the decoder like that. I think we're having a motor strain, and it's creating this locomotive to not be as powerful as I would like. So when I put the new decoder in here, I got to see what's going on with this locomotive. Beautiful, beautiful locomotive. I mean, it can't say any. It's awesome, but we just have a problem with it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna stick with DC stuff, man. DC for outer main run, long runs, and DCC for the yards. Plain and simple. Of course, everybody got their own complaint, and that's okay. To have that because that's how companies can learn from their complaints and people giving a review, honest review on that, and companies can straighten that up. Like hopefully they will listen to us, right? But it takes a bunch of people to kind of complain in, right? Hats off to Walders. Walders just works. What's another thing? Heart and soul into modern railroading. I guess trying new things, right? Trying new things that you never done before. Uh, like I made that waterfall. Okay, that was something new on the HO. I've done it before, but never on that grand scale. And it was so satisfying to make something like that and to see it actually work. It's just so fulfilling. Model railroading has a lot of those qualities in it. You know, uh, everybody's got a unique way of doing something, and it's so nice to see different ideas come alive. I was one of the first to do the water in HO scale. You didn't see that at the time. A lot of people's against it because of they're afraid of the humidity. But we don't have any trouble. We have a little leak that we thought we had, but we fixed it. But as far as having something like that, it's different, and that's what you should do. To create your model railroading to come alive. Yeah, you can follow what everybody else does, but that's people done did that. For me, it's different, so different. And it shows you more of a creative way of things. Being creative. Kind of like you don't want to feel like a zombie going off the back of someone else, doing what they're doing. Do your own thing. It's most important, in my opinion. Uh, Standards, NMRA standards, quote, star standards. Um, Basically, everybody's doing the same thing. You know, it's got to meet a certain thing. Everybody's doing the same. That's boring to me. I want to have different. Something you don't see, and that's why we have those helix. That's why we have those waterfalls. That's why we have different things. It's such a different thing, and just being regular. No offense, but that's what's real, bro. I love to see that Walrus come in hot like that, man. Beautiful. Weathering, like my locomotive just passing right there. A lot of people might say, "Well, I don't want to weather a brand new locomotive." There's a fear behind it, right? They hate to mess it up. As long as you trying and you put your mind to what you're doing, you're not gonna mess it up. You know, you'll be surprised on what you can do if you put your mind to it, on how much graffiti you can get correct. You know, and it'll look decent. The thing is, you have to apply it and see. You know, applying that, trying, such as weathering, graffiti, you'll surprise yourself. Any questions? Leave it in the chat, guys. That's what we're here for. That's why we're doing a live. It's always good to hear other people's opinions also. Oh, kind of just sitting here thinking. Oh yeah, if you watch the channel, you'll see where we're doing 3D printing and how far we come with 3D printing. Instead of buying like slag cars, we've been building them lately. You can save a lot of money doing that. You know, again, you have to buy things to learn how to do things, such as 3D printing. Costs a little bit, but it works. You know, it's good to do that stuff. 3D print there. And believe me, if I can do this, you can do it also. It's not hard to do. You know, you spend a little time with it, you'll learn what you can and can't do with 3D printing, and you'll get low cost results such as this. Beautiful. Goes a long way in model railroading versus buying stuff like this. The tariffs. I was scared at first on the tariffs because whenever the government hit with 134% tariff, I was like, it's done for. And if they would have hit with 134%, which I think that was a scare tactic, but if they would have hit with 134%, um, they would have killed all hobbies, you know. But so far, I do see that the tariffs aren't that bad on brand new stuff. I mean, it's there. You know, you go to Walmart, like for instance, we'd buy like a Hot Wheel premium for like six something. Now they're almost $8. They're $8, $9. So it does affect it. It does affect it by like a $3 or $4 difference, maybe all the way up to $10 in some cases. But it's not a make or break as of now. Um, Sucks the way it's going towards, the way the world's going towards in that aspect. It just shows that things aren't getting cheaper, you know. That's why uh, eBay, you get good stuff on eBay. You'd be surprised what you could do on eBay. You'd be very surprised. I'm in a bid right now. Not in a, well, kind of in a bidding war right now for older locomotive. So I just did it for the hell of it to see if I can get it for a certain price. But if I can't, I'm gonna drop out the bid. But hopefully I can get something on eBay coming up. As far as buying new stuff, not doing it for only because of my budget and what I have enough over here, right? But yeah, tariffs. I don't see it hurting as of now. Now, what happens in the next 6 months to a year? That's anyone's guess. when, when the world's at peace, everything can kind of stabilize. And right now, the world's not at peace. Wish it would be, though. Wish it would be. My BLI's most recent run, and it had a $48. Oh, did that much? Wow. BLI is known to have expensive prices. I was basing that more on like scale trains and Athearn. Yeah, but BLI, yeah, damn, that's a good bit. Also keep in mind that companies are going at the end of the day are going to do what they want to do. You know, so they can. I'm not going to say they want to impose that much of an increase, but they can impose it. You know, at the end of the day, they know you want it. They're going to go up on it. Yeah. Did you see that Navy big boy? Is it Navy big boy or the Air Force? That bitch is clean, bro. Not a bad price. I think it's cheaper than this one. Speaking of that, at the end of the day, you can save money on your rolling stock, uh, building your own stuff, such as I did with my cleaning car. Poor man cleaning car, but it works. You can guide yourself to saving up for an expensive locomotive. Save a dollar or two here and there, you can get what you want. I mean, let's face it, locomotives, brand new locomotives. I mean, it's hard to pull out 300 and something bucks for a locomotive. It really is. It's really hard to pull that out. I know it is for me. It's a lot you can do with that money. Then watch your locomotive sit on the shelf. Huh? What else, guys? What else can we talk about? Uh, yeah, I guess overall, if you're having fun with it, you're having fun with it. But let me tell you, a new locomotive is you might have fun with it for a little while, but it's not gonna fulfill your overall joy out of model railroading. You're not. You're not gonna fulfill it. There's so much more in model railroading than just buying stuff. A lot with the scenery. It's a big thing. Oh, good, Luna. Glad for you. Yeah, eBay is great, man. But yeah, and beginners, if you have to establish a locomotive fleet, that's great. You know, but in the end, in my opinion, you're not going to get the full fulfillment out of having 100,000 locomotives, figuratively speaking, right? Where it comes from is how are you getting your fulfillment out of it, your happiness, what you want to do, how's your scenery coming out, just everything all about you as an individual. You know, it does not rely in this. I think that's most important, and for any hobby, I think that's most important. I think that's the way it should be. Of course, the big guys and organizations are going to say, "Oh no, you need the newest of the best, and if you don't have it, I'm not watching you." Okay, that does not look realistic. Give me a second, guys. Let me go fill up my glass, and I'll be back in a minute. Yeah. So thinking about that, um, that's where your division is created, and what you have, and what the other person has, and what you don't have, and what you're not doing right, and what the prototypical guys do versus the rivet counters. That's where model railroading does, and it falls off the map, and everybody's they scattered everywhere. Nobody can come together on one thing because uh, there's higher standards promoting what they believe, and that's cool. But I'm here to tell you that's not real in the overall section. There's a group of that, but in the overall thing, it's in here. It comes from in here. That's the truth of it. All right, man. Thank you for coming by. It was good talking with you. I enjoyed the conversation. Very good. Thank you. So yeah, that's where we at, guys. On model railroading, I think it makes a lot of sense. Down to earth perspective on things, and I think that this would help people realize, you do what you can do. You do what you can do. You're having fun with it, being real and true to yourself of how you're doing it. You can't go wrong. Okay. I need more locomotive parts, that's for sure. eBay is probably liking me lately because that's all I've shopped is on eBay. I don't go to Amazon too much with stuff like that because I already know that the prices are skewed on Amazon. I stick strictly to eBay. That's what I have access to, and eBay is just real, bro. It works. I like bidding lately. I never used to do bidding, but now I like to bid. I like it. I can back out, if I want, but I think you're locked in now. If you're bidding, I think they lock you in. So keep that in mind. Can't back out of it. I don't think you can. You might, but I don't think you can. Any questions, guys, that you have for me? Feel free to leave it. What's another thing, guys? Keeping costs low. We talked about that already. Cost was low. Um, if you're new and you want a larger layout in HO scale, just do the track work the best you can. Okay, do it the best you can. Also, you're gonna have to try to get that stuff pretty precise. I used to lay my track and put weight on my track. Building that layout in the back, I did that in a lot of my newer videos. You can see. And what I was doing, I was creating dips in my track. Okay, worst thing you can do. Now what I do is leave my track where it lies. Okay, so I'll lay my track, let it sit where it stands, then I glue it. I use white glue to glue my track lately, and I have no issues. So leaving track where it lies is important. Again, do what the hell you want to do, but if you weigh your track down, you're gonna create yourself a dip. And if you want a locomotive like this, this thing hates dips. It gets caught in a dip, it derails. Yeah, it just derails mainly. It's got to have true track. Um, of course, larger radius is good. 22-inch radius. This goes on 22-inch radius. The larger, the better, right? But 22, it does work. Um, yeah, baby, we covered it all. It's been about an hour, huh? Yeah, right at an hour. We covered it all. I enjoy these podcasts. It gets information out there. It's based on what I've done over here and what I've seen works and what doesn't work. The biggest thing for me is keeping track clean. That's it. I've kind of got it narrowed down to what I want to do and how I clean my track, and I'm good to go. Um, Overall, any layout that you have, you're going to have to keep clean track, clean wheels, clean track, especially if you're in DCC. So it looks like that's it, guys. We're at an hour. I enjoyed the talk, and for the few people that came in here, thank y'all for coming by. Hit it up in the comment section. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys.